Honduras is a third world country, and as is often common, and unfortunately in a lot of third world countries, people see someone from the United States and they think money, and not even just people wanting to rob foreigners or travelers, but each other. People Hondurans robbing Hondurans, and that is sad. It's really unfortunate. I saw something the other day that kind of made me chuckle a little bit in a cynical way, I guess. But there was this thing that I saw on Facebook about the 10 most dangerous cities in the world, and the number one most dangerous city in the world was San Pedro Sula, which is in Honduras. It wasn't part of my mission, but it was in Honduras, and it really is. It is too bad that there is some danger there. The most, in my experience personally, the city of San Pedro Sula is a place that is a fairly dangerous place, but that was a lot of the bad stuff usually happens there. Some of the organized crime happens there. But definitely in Honduras, you don't want to draw attention to yourself unnecessarily in any way, especially draw attention as if you might have a lot of money. The mission, obey the mission rules. If you obey the mission rules, that takes care of 99% of any danger you might ever be in. You go out during the day, and you get back in your apartment by 9 o'clock at night to go do planning and go to bed. There's no need to be out past mission rule time ever. And if you do that, you're taking care of most. You're going to take care of 99% of incidents just by doing that. By always being with your companion, never being alone, and always going back to your apartment at the right time. Because as is common in most areas, most of the bad stuff that happens is happening later at night, and early in the morning. So you just want to make sure that you go home when you're supposed to, and most of the time you'll be taken care of. Also, you want to use some common sense. I wouldn't carry my debit card around if I didn't need it. Most of the time, you're not going to buy stuff with your debit card mostly. Most, like I talked about earlier, they have those little stores that are within walking distance, those little convenience store type things. You're always paying cash. No one's going to take a card anyways. The only time you're ever going to take a card is if you're going to a legitimate, big established restaurant or big established grocery store, something like that. But almost all your purchases are going to be in cash. So take some cash with you. Don't take a lot, but take some, and leave your card at home. You don't need it. Cameras, obviously, missionaries want to take pictures and things like that, and that's understandable. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't take my camera somewhere unless I knew I was going to be taking some pictures. And if I had my camera, I wouldn't be, just dangling it on my wrist all day and then walking by people. Take it out. You can use your camera, you can take pictures and all those types of things, but you should just be smart about it. And if you don't need something, don't carry it with you. I think there are, at least in my mission, there were some places that were a little more dangerous than others. But the other thing, too, is you got to trust your mission president. In my mission president, there were areas that only sisters went to because they were the safest in the whole mission. There were other areas where people from North America, from the United States, did not serve in because they were a little more dangerous, and the people were a little more, they might have been a little more willing to rob someone who looked like they came from the United States because, the often criminals feel like anyone that comes from the United States must have a lot of money. So your mission president will be smart, and if there's areas where maybe aren't appropriate for sisters or things like that, he'll do what's necessary, and act accordingly. But pretty much, as long as you're obeying the mission rules and being smart, I wouldn't say it's something that you need to worry about. I know I didn't worry about it day in and day out. It was usually not even on my mind worrying about getting robbed or anything like that. I did the area that was probably most dangerous that I served in, and it really wasn't that dangerous, but that was the one area where someone did try and rob us. That was kind of silly more than anything else. That was the middle of the day, and we were walking back from lunch, and this guy, who I'm pretty sure, he was either I'm pretty sure he was stoned, or at least he was high on something, and he came up to us, and he knew that we had a little cell phone, for as missionaries, and he came up to us and staggered toward us more like, and he had a little butter knife, and then he said, hey, give me your phone, or something like that. And at first I was kind of like surprised, like, what's going on? But my companion was a pretty quick thinker, and he kind of swung his backpack around and just kind of shoved the guy over, just knocked him down, and we just walked away, briskly walked away and went on our way. And it was so silly. I mean, it was this same man who we usually saw him most days, and most days he was really high or drunk or something, and so it was just kind of funny. It was like, I mean, we see you every day and we say hi to you and talk to you, and now you're trying to rob us with a butter knife. And we kind of shoved, like I said, my companion kind of pushed him down and we walked away, and and then I think we saw him 2 weeks later and he was, hi elders, how you doing? So I mean, he was he was a little messed up, unfortunately, in the head, I think. But it wasn't so in general, that was the most dangerous incident I was ever in, and really even then it wasn't. I never felt really in danger.